Selamat siang Ibu dan teman-teman. Perkenalkan, nama saya Jessica Sipahutar, NIM 0320210171 dari Prodi Nurse 1B Stika Santa Elizabeth Medan. Di video kali ini, saya akan menjelaskan standar operasional prosedur mencuci rambut pada pasien. Adapun tujuannya adalah yang pertama, memberikan rasa nyaman. Yang kedua, membersihkan rambut dan kulit kepala dari kotoran. Yang ketiga, melancarkan sirkulasi darah. Yang keempat, mengurangi kelebihan minyak pada rambut. Yang kelima, mencegah terjadinya kerusakan kulit kepala, ketombe, gatal, dan kerontokan. Dan yang keenam, meningkatkan harga diri klien. Adapun SOP-nya yaitu yang pertama tahap perencanaan, persiapan alat. Yang pertama handuk atas 2 buah, yang kedua squirt, yang ketiga karet pengalas atau perlak, yang keempat hair dryer, yang kelima alat pencuci rambut, sampo, sisir kapas, yang ketujuh ember berisi air hangat, yang kedelapan ember kosong, yang kesembilan sarung tangan. Kemudian, persiapan klien dan lingkungan. Yang pertama, jelaskan prosedur kepada klien. Yang kedua, menyiapkan lingkungan dengan menutup tabir di sekeliling tempat tidur, pintu, jendela, dan lingkungan yang nyaman. Kemudian, atur ketinggian tempat tidur supaya perawat nyaman dalam bekerja. Kemudian kita masuk ke tahap perencanaan. Yang pertama, beri posisi dengan kepala berada di sisi tempat tidur. Yang kedua, letakkan kepala di atas alat pencuci rambut. Yang ketiga, letakkan gulungan handuk di bawah leher dan tutup telinga klien dengan kapas bulat. Yang keempat, tutup bagian dada dan leher dengan handuk. Yang kelima, sisir rambut, kemudian basahi rambut dengan air hangat. Yang keenam, cuci rambut dengan sampo dan meset kulit kepala menggunakan bantalan kulit jari-jari tangan pada kulit kepala. Yang ketujuh, bilas rambut sampai bersih. Yang kedelapan, bila perlu ulangi penggunaan sampo. Yang kesembilan, keringkan rambut dengan handuk. Yang kesepuluh, sisir rambut klien sambil keringkan dengan hair dryer. Yang ke-11, bereskan alat-alat. Yang ke-12, perawat mencuci tangan. Baik teman-teman, sekian SOP yang dapat saya jelaskan. Untuk video lebih jelasnya, teman-teman dapat menonton video setelah ini.
The following is a video showing you how to shampoo a patient's hair while in the bed. So I'm going to take you through that process, showing you the supplies that you need to do that, and taking you just through that process. And again, this is for shampooing residents while they're in the bed. So the first thing I would do is obviously knock on the door.
Come in.
Good morning, Mr. Wainscott. This is Mr. Wainscott. He's agreed to be our patient for the day, so we will be actually shampooing his hair. So I would identify the patient, check his ID bracelet to verify that this is who I need it to be, and then I would explain the procedure. This morning we're going to shampoo your hair. The doctor has said you can't get out of bed, and it's been a little while since you've had your hair shampooed. And so I know that makes everybody feel better, you know, when their hair feels good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that done this morning.
Okay.
Then I would gather my supplies, which you have here. And I'm going to go practice my hand hygiene and then get my self set up for the procedure. I'm going to go ahead and take your pillows, Mr. Wainscott, so we don't get those wet. And I'm going to sit them aside. The key here is to save your bed as much as you possibly can, so this waterproof pad will help with that. Okay. This is a shampoo tray. They come in lots of varieties. There's the inflatable type that you can use. This is an old-fashioned type of shampoo tray, but it still works the same. Very nice to use when you cannot get your patient out of bed to wash their hair. So you simply just lay that there. I'm actually going to put a little bit of a towel right here just to save the side of our mattress. If the towel gets wet, that's fine. Doesn't matter because your water is going to go directly down into just your traditional little trash can here, taking the liner out of it because you're going to be dumping that water later. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to go get my water. It will be 105 degrees, ideally, for this process. So I'm going to go get that, Mr. Wainscott, and I will be right back. Okay. Perfect. Now this process of shampooing in the bed is not a neat process. There will be a little bit of a mess involved. You try to contain that as much as you possibly can, but again, your focus here is your patient's comfort. When somebody feels like they look good, it makes them feel good, and nothing is more therapeutic than a nice warm bath or having somebody wash your hair for you when you're not able to do so. Now, Mr. Wainscott, I'm going to take your blankets here just so we don't get them wet.
All right.
I won't take them all the way down. Here's a washcloth for you to hold if you need to do so. I'm going to put this washcloth or bath towel over you. Okay. Now, I'm going to raise your bed. To a comfortable working level. Okay, ideally you would not want to work over your side rail, but because of the way our bed is designed, that is not the case in here, but just note that ideally you would not want to work over your side rail. And your side rail should be raised while your bed is in motion, and you would put the rail down on the side that you're working on. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Alrighty, I've got my shampoo here. Now, Mr. Wainscott, do you use conditioner?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing you want to do if you have a patient that's got longer hair, you may want to go ahead and brush to get any tats out before you go to washing, because it will make the process a lot easier afterwards. But Mr. Wainscott here has very nice hair, and so he has no tats or anything of that nature in his hair, so he's in good shape. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Do you want to hold that over your face just in case, or are you good?
Here.
Yeah,
How's that?
That makes me feel better. Okay. Now we're just going to pour and get the hair wet. Trying not to get it into his ears, if at all possible. And ideally, it's nice to have a helper available sometimes, if that's at all possible. But if you're at home taking care of an individual and this is the way that you're doing it, then you know, the more you practice, the better you get at these type of skills. Practice makes perfect. And again, It's always nice to have extra towels if you're a messy person like me. I know myself. How you doing, Mr. Wainscott?
Pretty good.
Doing good? Okay, looks like we've gotten everything pretty wet. So now we would just go ahead and start with our shampoo. Working up a good lather. And the sound you're hearing there is the water that's being flowing from our shampoo tray here into our trash receptacle. That's catching the water for us, so it's not going on the floor. And some of your patients may like a nice scrubbing. A lot of people do. But just remember, if your patient should have open sores or things of that nature on their scalp, you do want to utilize your gloves. Okay. Now, we've got our hair washed. Now, Mr. Wainscott, if you will lift your head up just slightly, I'm going to try and drain some of our water here. Very nice. Thank you. Now we want to rinse. You okay?
Yep.
It's not impeding your breathing at all, is it?
No.
Okay. Always tell your patient what you're doing. Nobody likes surprises. So as you're pouring the water, make sure you're telling them, okay, the water's coming on your head now. You don't want to frighten them if you can avoid doing so. You can use any type of water pitcher or anything of that nature to pour the water onto your patient's hair. This water here that collects in your tray is nice to help you get the soap out of the back of their hair. I'm going to walk around to the other side just to see if I got all the soap on that side. And it looks like I did. I feel like I did.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we can take this off.
I was about to take a nap.
Set that aside. Isn't that relaxing?
Mm-hmm.
If you'll just raise your head up slightly for me. Okay, and this is why we have our waterproof pad here. I'm going to take this out. You can lay your head down now. I'll get that cleaned up in just a second. Now you can take your rail down. And at this point, you just massage their hair, drying it the best that you can. How's that feel?
Pretty good.
Okay, take the wet towel. Take your other towel. Okay, if you'll lift your head up for me, I'll get this out of your way. Okay, now you can lay your head back down so you don't get your sheets wet. Get rid of this. And at this time, if your patient wanted their hair blow dried, you could do that. Mr. Wainscott has voiced that he does not want his hair blow dried. So this is simply a nice towel drying that you would do at this point. Take your brush out their hair. supporting their neck. Making sure you get the back of their hair as well. Alright. Then at this point I would clean up my supplies, discard my soiled linen into my dirty linen container, clean up my basin, put my supplies back where I found them, make sure I leave Mr. Wainscott with his call lights, ask him if there's anything else that I could do for him, and then that would be the end of the shampooing of the patient's hair while in bed.
Baik Ibu dan teman-teman, sekian video penjelasan standar operasional prosedur membantu membersihkan kepala klien atau keramas dari saya. Saya meminta maaf jika ada salah perkataan maupun tindakan dari saya. Sekian dan terima kasih.